Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Bad Frequency channel. Once again, I'm here with our hosts, Zach and Kevin, here to talk about our usual updates on the things going. So, for everyone living in the UK, we'll keep this one brief in terms of politics. Lockdown's still kind of going on, but we may be able to do a little bit more. People can at least go back to work. It's a step somewhere. Not the best step, but it's still a step. Well, I'll keep it straight to that. And but anything else, we're going to get back to what we always love doing, hobby stuff. So we're going to have to talk about now what everyone's been working on.
Shall we start? I'll start, I don't mind.
Yeah? No, one of you can fire away. Shoot the gun.
Yeah, I've still been plugging away the 5 a week, doing more tactical marines.
Oh, yeah, because...
yeah.
I haven't got it.
Should have finished them by now, but I burnt my arm the other day with oil, and it's kind of been a bit, awkward to sort of squash my arms together and rest my wrists on stuff because I've burnt just above my right wrist. I'm right-handed, so yeah. What I wanted to do yesterday, couldn't do, so I'm sort of like a day and a little bit behind. I've got like the silver to do and the rims, shoulders, and backpacks. So keep them separate.
It's not like you're at school and all of a sudden you're late. I have to make a good excuse why I'm late. No!
I'm sorry, I set fire to myself with boiling oil. Pass my
Have you got a letter from have you got a letter from your parents?
I am an adult.
No, you're not.
I am an adult. Barely, but I am.
So yeah, because I remember we had you had that set thing going where every week you was playing 5 models or big thing within a week. Because if I remember right, the first one was 5 assault marine squads.
Nope, tactical marines.
Oh, tactical marines, my bad.
Yeah, this is my third lot of tactical marines, and I've done a dreadnought. So by the time I finish these, it'll be 15 dudes, dreadnought. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That. Well, your army's already pretty big enough as it is already, isn't it? So hopefully you're not going to be using. No doubt you're not going to be using the
complete roster of what I have for Blood Angels. I've done HQ choices, not including Sanguinius, and elite choices, and I'm at about 3,500 points.
Oh, not bad. Hopefully it's not going to be used for Days of Sorrow. I mean, God forbid we can never find anyone who actually does Days of Sorrows as the right of war. If you're there, message us.
Days of Sorrow is very poor. It just needs a change. Instead of doing you take 50% casualties and then gain a 5% feel no pain, just give stuff straight +1 to you feel no pain. So if you don't have one, you get 6 up. If you have it, you get 4 up.
But all that at a simple cost of not being a scoring unit anymore, or actually counting as a victory point for destroyed.
But yeah, there is that. It's just here's a giant bowl of turd, and now to make it better, you have to eat the turd. But you're not actually making it better; you're making it worse. But it's fine because apparently it's thematic. It's almost as bad as Dawnbreakers not having frag grenades.
That's what perplexes me. You're actually there at grenade launchers. You're firing grenade launchers.
But not grenades.
Oh, not the grenades you need.
No.
You're the grenades we deserve, not the grenades we needed.
To be fair, that unit is almost always going to have a character with frag grenades in the unit. Whether it's a chaplain, a praetor, a champion, or an apothecary.
God, that chaplain apothecary.
Take somebody else to babysit them so they can charge into cover. It's just weird. That is Blood Angel's preeminent assault unit. And they get shafted when they charge it. They have weapons that give them initiative bonuses. Shafted when they charge into cover.
It's not like you even become initiative 2 or anything. You just could be like, you're going to have this chaplain and guys running in going, follow me. What are you doing?
Charging
over
Blood
these
Angel.
Branches.
Get a negative +1 initiative for charging, right? That's just for being a Blood Angel. If you use one of the, I can't remember which one it is, but one of the Equinox Blades gives you +1 initiative when you use that type.
Doesn't
would that
matter in
technically
cover.
make you
The
initiative too?
Sunrise. But technically, if you just drop your initiative to 1 charge into cover, on the charge you would be 3 using the Sunrise Blade, I think.
Question.
But you don't. You just still initiative 1. But I don't know why they don't have frag grenades, because I think initiative 6 on essentially strength 5 rending power swords is quite strong.
It wouldn't surprise me if they kicked out probably an FAQ still soon. But I still just like the idea that they kind of got these. They had to choose between more ammo for those grenade launchers and having frag grenades, and they were like, "These grenades are only getting in the way. We need more ammo. This assault combat-oriented unit needs more ammo for this grenade launcher."
Even Gal Warbeck have frag grenades, which is like.
I do think it is an oversight, because almost every Space Marine squad comes with frag grenades standard. There are very few that don't.
I'm more surprised if Gals had frag grenades. You seen those hands?
They might fart out clouds of bees. You never know, like warp bees. You never know.
Yeah, but if you look at some of the models, they do have still, like, certainly with the ones with the bolt pistols in the hand, they still have a human hand. So it's like, yeah, they could easily chuck one off. Or what? Imagine trying to pull the pin with 2 Gal Warbeck hands just like that. Just like, I can't get to it.
You have to be like crab hands. You have to use your new teeth to like pull the pin. You're like.
Zoidberg Marine ain't throwing no grenades, sucker.
I mean, to be honest, in my head while you were saying that, all I was thinking was Baby Shark, Baby Shark. Just trying to pull the pin, Baby Shark,
You're not even a parent yet, Christ. It's already got you.
It got to my twin sister, so I kind of know this already. Well, this is where in the past when I always used to joke about the old 5th and 6th editions, where so I always joked about Grey Knights having more advanced armor because they had the power to wield pockets.
Pocket.
Because that's what I mean. I always imagined that's why the armor was so advanced. They had pockets. They could put grenades in there. Even the little chest piece are technically supposed to have a book. I like to think there was more grenades in there.
Well,
have either of you guys read the old William King Ragnar books?
No.
I did, yes. That was actually one of the few Space Wolf books I loved.
Space Marines don't carry grenades around their waist in those books. They have a dispenser in their wrist, not like how Spider-Man shoots his webs, where it fired like just sort of slots out a palm-sized disc, and that's the grenade. It just sort of puts a small discus in the palm of their hand, and then they chuck it.
Marvel,
like
yeah.
Marvel,
like
look at it. Copyright that. Copyright that.
Well, that book's when Ragnar's still a Bloodclaw, so it's old. Like it might even be older than the first Gotrek books. I don't know. But it's a really good book, and it's just Space Marines are massive. Like most people don't get around how big a Space Marine is. So when they're encased in armor that can protect them from the void of space, from huge explosions and whatever else, there's obviously going to be hollow points that they can stick small grenades in.
It sounds like a Pokemon thing, you know. You just got the little.
It very much is like a Pokeball. You sort of get this little tiny device in your hand, and then you throw it, and it's more than the sum of its parts.
But rather than catching things, it just
maybe
causes
them
them to automatically
just doing explode all the time.
So, Zach, if I remember right, you've been like having to strip the guys who were painting as salamanders, if I remember right, and are they now becoming Ultramarines, if I recall?
I'll be honest, my brain is like so confused nowadays about what I want to do, if I'm honest, because like I've always been like that, where I'm like, oh, I like these guys, like these guys, like these guys. But it's the fact that given the situation with the lockdown and everything that else has been going on, it's like to build an Ultramarine army, it would take me quite a few years to do now, if I'm honest. Whereas if I've already got a 1,000 Suns list already, I've already built a 1,000 Suns army, so it's like just add on to an add-on. And I've always had an idea of a Macedon for my 1,000 Suns anyway. And with the conversion I'd want to do, it'd take me a lot less time to do finish my 1,000 Suns army off and actually play a game.
Mastodon?
I can't remember what those guys are called. The old Nagash sort of floaty guys from Warhammer. with the two swords or the halberd.
Morghasts.
Yeah, them.
Yeah,
What-
those
what-
the Morg. Yeah, and the Gash's bodyguard, the flying angel looking things.
What I'd do is get two of those guys with both swords, have them cross their arms, maybe actually cut the sword so it actually looks Egyptian, and basically put them like sort of on the doors, so when it opens, they both look like they're facing away.
Would you not be better off with Tomb King bits at that point because
It's trying to
it'll
find
look
Tomb
more
King,
chaos
so
if you
that's the issue.
It's true.
It's trying to
Two-
find the
two
model
kids
that
would be like-
fits. That's the problem. It's the fact that if I got, say, what's that Sphinx guy? I can't remember what it's called.
Definitely.
Oh. Yeah, if I got one of those, it's a case of I'd want it to basically the feet to reach the bottom of the doors. So it'd be a case of just measuring and trying to work out if it would actually fit.
Yeah, because that's suddenly the issue. The concept of trying to get like space Egyptian parts is much harder nowadays. Tomb King stuff is almost impossible because you either get people who are already making their Thousand Suns like that, or they actually have a Tomb King army they want to keep.
I just saw your door revolve closed. I'm sorry, I just saw.
Don't
it
worry,
literally got-
that's just a little bit of house haunting. It's okay. It's perfectly normal.
It's just the fact that there's a because I've always had I've been always running ideas about because just using Magnus all the time.
Yeah.
It's
I get
it's
why.
OP. It's OP at the end of the day, regardless if he had D or not. It's the fact we've talked about it before about how bad Magnus can be if he gets a Nova at strength 10, and with the
What's the
amount
AP of it? Oh, like one or
AP
two.
AP4 the
Oh.
Nova, but the
It's
basically
still over, but
I've taken out in one turn with Magnus a Rhino, 2 Contemptors, and Leviathan, just dropping him down and just got
yeah,
exploded.
because the Nova does like 2d6 hits, so it's more like you overwhelming targets with the amount of hits on a model.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
not
didn't
just
think
like
it was
one hit.
2d6 hits. If it was just
Yeah, it's 2d6. It's
everything
pretty
in the-
awful.
bubble is hit, that'd be okay.
I
Yeah,
think
no, I originally thought that, but no, it's like a d6 or 2d6, so it has a number for every unit. It kind
Yeah,
of just
not
starts really, yeah. And for a normal guy, that's what I mean. Like for infantry and such, it's probably crap. But yeah, you use on the tanks, it's just disaster.
I mean, it's the fact it does 2d6 hits, so you don't need to roll to hit.
Yeah.
So it just does that hit, so you're just basically trying to pen an armor. I mean, it wouldn't take
Like,
out a
not even
super heavy.
penning, not even
Well, to be
penning. You're
fair-
just spamming hold points off the target. You know you can't destroy it.
Does a Nova ignore flare shields?
Whereas Magnus is power boost, so he ignores cover as well.
No. Does it ignore a flare shield? Because
No.
Oh, no, because it's not technically a blast template, isn't it? It's just models within this range takes a hit.
Does the flare shield specify on if it gets targeted by a weapon in its front arc or hit by it in its front
It
arc?
says like targets attacking the front. So
If
I
the-
mean, it would depend on the angle. I mean, if Magnus landed on the side, I would say the side armor. If it's facing the front, then yeah, I would say the flare shield would count towards the front. I
I
think
think
it's
it's there
multiple
for
ways.
things like Spartans, isn't it? Because they're what 4 or 5 hull points.
Yeah.
If you get
5 hull
inside, or
points.
you don't, or you ignore the flare shield, or you get in the side, that's still a bit risky. Just a half decent flurry of dice, and the whole a good chunk of the hull points can be gone.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, though. It's like you could just. It's just the overwhelming number of strength 10 hits on the target
Yeah.
more than actually a good shot making it blow up. So yeah, that doesn't mean the Magnus trick can be nasty, and especially when you were using telekinesis on the White Scar player, so you were haywiring the heck out of all the flyers
The
around.
plane. All four, because I was running 4 set Met Terminator units. All of them got the exact same power, and I just went, "Oh, I don't need to roll to hit you. Take a haywire hit. Don't need to roll to hit you. Take a haywire hit." And by the way, all your weapons get hot as well. So it's like, even
Is
though
that
most,
obturation mechanicum?
yeah, such a
pretty
great
bad.
power.
And then
It's
obviously
just-
boost that up because Magnus ignores chinks because of Magnus's spike powers ignoring cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's still technically a shooting attack because it's doing a haywire hit. So yeah, you would be ignoring the chink saves as well.
It's the fact that because I run the Guard of the Crimson King, it's the fact set mech get that benefit of because if you bring them in Cataphractii armor, they've already got a 4-up invuln. Then you bring the cult, which gives them a +1, and then on the turn of deep strike, they reroll ones for their invuln save. So it's like, unless you've got loads of firepower, which is like bolters and stuff like that, that unit is pretty much going to stay there for a very long time.
Yeah. So we're going with like
flamers would be better, wouldn't they? A flamers support squad would be much better.
It depends how many you hit with the squad though, because you'd have to line them up and all and everything like that, and just hope.
It doesn't matter. You're going to lose them the fucking turn after anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I normally, depending on most of the time, I mean, in games me and Steve had, I've had levitate on at least one of the squads, so I just spread them out as much as possible and then go, I could do things.
The only way I've had my advantage on them, it was just kind of the opposite for when we had to fight Logar and like your gals. Because normally with them, I had to avoid the fight with them and just run off. With Magnus and that, the goal was pretty similar actually. I'm sure I'll re-correct myself. It was similar in the sense I had to take out all your Sacred Terminators instead. Because Magnus by himself hurts, but he still needs all those Terminators to stand with him. I think we made this big point that even if I had Lionel Johnson even if I had Lion at this point, I still wouldn't have Lion fight Magnus, not because he can't win, but more because I need him to do more productive work, where a fight with Magnus will just drag for the entire game.
That's probably the most productive thing Lionel Johnson could do if you're doing Dark Angels versus Charles and Sons. Because if you can get him to Magnus relatively unscathed and then engage him, you're then stopping a bunch of his powers from happening, and Lion's just going to smash the fuck out of him just for whatever reason.
It would take him a lot longer, that's my issue. Because...
No, it's just the invulnerable save you've got to worry about, because Johnson...
Well, don't forget, because if Magnus needs to, Magnus chooses, will try and get precognition, so he'll keep having that rerollable save, along with the reroll hits and wounds.
Yeah, that's fine, but Johnson will still smash him in.
Well, he probably will, but it will take him a lot longer to do it, so... At least in my idea is, if I had to, I'd rather take out every one of his other Terminators quickly and effective, and then I'll have Lion take Magnus on, just so that everyone else can go and do what they need to do.
But what if the Terminators end up with the rerolls to invulnerable saves?
Then
yeah, I should do my best to avoid them. But if
it's one of those things the Psyker though, because obviously it's a Brotherhood Psyker, so you'd have to choose one.
Right? Fair. Yeah,
because
I don't know. I've got like one Psyker in my entire army, so
that's the thing. Because when we've been playtesting with Magnus and stuff like that, is the fact that the only thing we've rarely ever thought about, like apart from me making one stupid mistake one game, it was the fact that it was either bring more Terminators for you, or bring a bloody Falchion, which was a case of douchebag.
Exactly. Yeah, because I had to resort to the whole Power Fist beats 2 wound models. I had to use that argument in that game.
I couldn't even. I couldn't even make a 3-up invul in that game for some weird reason.
I also had to use those stasis rounds. I had to use stasis rounds to take advantage of as well, because I had to then drop your weapon skill down to 3, enough so I can start hitting you on 3s. Start using Power Fists.
Hitting on 3s with Power Fists instead of swords.
I mean,
it's an alternative. I would love to use the swords, but against Terminator themed army, the Knights Shinobi would have trouble. I'd have to literally use Knights just to spam plasma caster shots on a unit and hope that 10 guys can gun down 5 models.
I mean, it depends, because I used to just bring 2 squads of 10 set mechs, but obviously in objectives games it's not a good idea really, because obviously if I've only got 2 scoring units, it's a bit like, I can only score 2 points maybe, so it's a case of like split them up, make you have to work for it.
It's amazing. So sadly a lot of the Dark Angel Legion stuff, it's not in a position where you can take on like multi-wounded Terminator squads, or at least not the big 10-man unit. So for instance, like a Dreadwing unit may take out a 5-man unit if I'm lucky, and you were very unlucky. But it's still not like it's a very, very big risk, because I'd have to get a really good amount of shots coming in from the plasma burners And then I need you to roll really badly.
I don't think you'd shoot him to death in one turn.
No.
That's why I expressed if I was very lucky and he was very unlucky.
Their swords cause instant death, though, right?
Oh no, I was referring to the Dreadwing guys. You know, the standard plasma burner guns.
Right. Yes, of course.
Yeah, because they will have a better chance. The knights are very not as much because I'll have 3 guys with fun hammers, which will do damage.
Yeah.
But if I'm lucky, I may kill 3 guys or something with plasma casters if I get a lot of shots going right.
It depends if I have say again, first turn deep.
Yeah,
right?
assuming as I say, we're assuming it all goes in within one favor, to say the least.
I mean,
But otherwise,
yeah.
Otherwise, there's a lot of the Legion-specific units which I think will have issues against particular units like that. If I was fighting other standard units that were just the 1 wound, 2 up save, it probably would be easy.
Then you struggle against fire drakes, maybe.
Fire drakes, then I'm
struggle
screwed.
against fire drakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's like fire drakes, I'm screwed because they'll get the 5-up invuns from plasma weapons.
Well, they get
Fire
if they've got the storm.
have storm shields.
Oh no, I meant thinking pyroclast. Sorry. I
that's-
feel like when it comes to fire drakes, I'm screwed with fire drakes.
I think you'd be screwed just playing salamanders at that point, mate.
The
You have a
only
lot
good
of plasma
trick
in your arm. That's the thing. If you have a lot of
the
plasma,
only real good trick I'll have is having molecular acid rounds, but that's pretty much having to throw the book.
Just run up and hit them with swords. Don't
Again,
just
it's that
tie the Terminators up, tie the Fire Drakes up with your most durable unit.
I mean, I'd have to
smash everything else with swords. Except for
I mean, I'd probably have
pyroclasts.
to resort to whole stasis grenades. Stasis grenades and acid rounds will probably be the 2 things I'd have to rely on. That, I mean, Terran Great Blades, if I'm lucky with a couple of odd failed armor saves, but.
So, you wrote a list recently, right?
I did actually. It was mostly just a play around once, so I can add these units in. I'm not going to say it's a great list because I think there's some ways I could.
I like it quite a bit, to be honest. I can generally poke all personal preference holes in a list, but looking over it, the only thing I'm about is the 2 tech marines with rad grenades.
Yeah, that's more for point spelling. At this point, this is the point where I kind of go, and here's a list over here. Slap it on here with my editing gear later. But I'll say it now.
Shall we start?
I think Zach's seen it as well.
Yeah, I've got it up, and my only issue is the fact that right now you've only got 2 tactical squads which you're only.
That's the same thing. The same thing. But Cenobium Knights.
They don't have the implacable fans rule.
They don't.
No,
Right,
that's the only issue. They don't have the implacable fans rule. That's a hiccup. So, as I say, it's more about. This is why I was expressing. I'm playing with the Legion units that I want to add in. Most likely, future lists will involve something like the Dreadwing within a Termite and maybe the 20-man blob squads. But I wanted to play with a list to try and include a Rite of War because I mentioned with Zach. Rite of War are the only things I have great issues trying to work in a Heresy army. Because I can make a standard list, it's not a problem, but I can never find it. I look at a Rite of War, and there's something about the con that always drives me away from it more than anything else.
What's the con?
Or not just general cons in a Rite of War, always put me on the back foot.
I think it's also your
indecisive.
Your Legion con, which should put me more on the back burner as anything else, is the fact that
that was part of a Rite of War, but it's not. It's where you're outnumbered.
Equal or not?
Oh yeah, it's equal or outnumbered. I lose D3, which then makes it worse because with an Iron Wing also has that thing where you lose a victory point if you have all your tanks wrecked. So before you know it, with an Iron Wing, it's D3 plus 1 victory points. Worst case, your opponent gains 4 victory points for really putting you on the back burner.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I've got. Isn't the glaive only really going against tanks more than anything else?
No,
it's very difficult because remember, the glaive has that it's a strength 8 AP2 beam attack, a millimeter wide beam as well. So it's not like a hairpin beam. It's a big millimeter, and obviously it still has the same bulk height rule to it. So say you get 5 guys with a bulk height beam, take another 5 strength 8 AP2 hits.
I'm
And
just
then
wondering
top
how
the-
that mech would hold up
And
against
it's
it.
haywire.
I think Sepnek, because we know the Falchion was good against them, but the glaive would be terrifying against 2 wound units. But maybe the exception of salamanders, but that's about it.
That's the thing. It's just the fact that, like, say I'm trying to think. Say in a situation where set mech, say a massive squad of 10, levitate and then spread out a bit more and just keep this like maybe and with the 3-up re-rolling ones maybe. And I'm not 100%.
As I say, it's still a millimeter wide beam. It's still actually thick enough that it still should at least
Thought
get
it was
you
an inch.
It's a millimeter beam. I think that's the actual length of the tape measure itself. And you can just get that right. And it also, here's the other bonus as well. If it hits a tank, it's also a haywire. But if you hit like a super heavy or a building, whatever, it automatically stops. But it then takes D3 haywire hits automatically.
I mean, I don't have really any tanks in my army, so
Yeah, but super heavies or gargantuan creatures, you get the idea. But then the next other thing is, it also even attacks the guys inside transports. So if you hit a rhino, it takes D6 strength 6 AP4 hits with the same bulk height rule.
Imagine that, and then it explodes as well.
This is actually why I find it terrifying against solo Exilia, because you have those Dracosian tanks which are very damn solid. But he said they go, I'm okay. The crew are dead. Oh.
Yeah, because strength 6 AP4 is killing him.
Yeah, it kills.
Just
And
killing
with the bulk height rule, you basically incinerate the entire guys inside a Dracosian tank.
There's D6 double dudes dead.
I mean,
D6
that
guys
was a
dead, and
mouthful.
then extra.
The way I see Solar Auxiliary is how I play Orcs. If you're not taking massive amounts of them off the table, you're playing them wrong.
And then, so you got a very, which is Venice. This is why the glaive is arguably the better of those Fellblade pattern tanks. And you still got like the 4 las cannons on the tank itself.
I agree. It's definitely the best. But I just got a softer spot for the Fellblade.
I want to like the Fellblade.
I think it's a really good jack of all trades.
It's one of those for me. I want it to be, but there's times where I've been like looking and going, one tank does better anti-tank, and then the other's done better anti-infantry with a borderline almost as good anti-tank.
I don't do massive heavy tanks. We know this. I don't even think I've ever brought a super massive heavy tank.
You should.
I've bought the Falchion many times, but Falchion sometimes, most of the time, suffers from never making its proper points back. Or it goes in a fight where there's not really a big target to make the use of it.
I mean, the biggest thing I've ever seen you buy is literally a Thunderhawk. And you took it to one event and you said it yourself, I don't want to play with this anymore.
Yeah, because I told myself now, if I get I will never take it with me unless I have a car. But I definitely won't take it to Home Fifth again because that was such a ridiculous hassle to do that. Because Home Fifth, excellent gaming area, but it's going up 2, maybe 3 sets of stairs.
Don't ever talk to me about hassles about going to Home Fifth. Don't talk to me about hassles going to Home Fifth. I left my case on a platform because I was helping you carry your shit.
Did you get it back?
And then had to go. I had to come all the way back to Manchester and have
panic attack.
Well, it's because he brought 2 suitcases with him, which I had to help him carry. I left my case on the platform at Manchester Piccadilly. Got on the train. We got to one stop, and then as I got his suitcase off the train, I was like, "Where's mine?" And then had to come all the way back to Manchester and ended up paying a £5 fine just to get my case back.
To be fair, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was thankful.
If it was to get my shit back, I'd be like, I would pay you whatever's in my pocket right now.
I even said this to the guy at the Lost and Found. I said, I really want to jump over this counter and hug you right now because I was shitting myself.
Right, so anyway, Dark Angels list. What's in it? This is
massive segue. It'd be copy pasted on here.
So,
but yeah,
start at the Praetor, or whatever your HQs are.
Yeah, so, as usual, you kitted out Praetor, because it works. Defining Blade, Halo, digital weapon. Then obviously, then I have my little chaplain, that nice chaplain combo which I've made out. Which, by the way, pictures are on my commission site page or on our actual podcast page. Check it out.
My issue with the Divining Blade is, don't get me wrong, I think it's amazing. It's just plus on strength, instant death, AP2, brilliant. It's too good. It's too cheap.
It is
for what it does.
it is the issue. It's very good to be a strength 6 AP1 sword with instant death base. It's like my Terran Greyblade injected with steroids.
Yeah.
Because they're still both two-handed strength 6 weapons, except one's just gone like 2 more. It's just AP better.
Even
I've
beta
been giving it to
position
my
is
Blood Angel Praetor, but the worst thing about Blood Angel Praetor is anything with a melee weapon in the Blood Angels is +1 to wound in melee. So it's pseudo strength 6.
Yeah,
It's just killing Space Marines on 2s and they don't get feel no pain. If they have feel no pain, it's just awful business.
It's weird
only
enough.
55 points as well, all in. Because you got to buy the Paragon Blade, which is 20 points for a Paragon Blade.
25. Yeah, 25 points.
And then it's 30 for the Divining, right?
Yeah.
So
Funny enough,
you compare the two swords, one's 25 points, one's 30. Yes, you've got to buy one to get the other, but for that 5 points difference between the two, it's just the instant death is flat instant death is incredible.
and if you wanted to be
you take it in your
if
list.
you want to be mean, you can buy a Legion champion and give him a Paragon Blade instead.
You can't give a Legion champion the Divining.
They FAQ'd it actually, so a Legion champion can buy a Paragon Blade.
Yeah, can get a Paragon Blade. That's an old FAQ. But don't you?
I have to check if it's still a thing, but I think the only people I know that
champion a Divining Blade though, can you? Because it's 0-1.
no, I don't think you can give a Legion champion. I think you can. Why you would though is the other thing, because you can only have one.
Yeah, it's going on.
So it's like, so yeah, you have your Praetor with a Divining Blade, give your Legion champion a Paragon Blade. The only guys I could think of that wouldn't take a Divining Blade, arguably, Alpha Legion, just because they always love that Power Dagger combo.
Nah, I'd still take.
Because it's a tough one. Because at the same time, I'm looking and going,
it's not even tough.
But it's more than because I'm looking and going, you can still get like what 2 more attacks than the guy with the Divining Blade.
It's not about attacks. It's
but it's like your
it's Power Fist, Power Dagger, right?
Or
so
you can get
Power Dagger against
Well, you don't even use the Power Dagger. You don't even use the Power Dagger. That's the thing.
Be instant death and stuff at initiative.
Yeah, but for 5 points. But remember, like Paragon Blade is a specialist weapon. Man, you can never get the benefit of 2 weapons unless you have another specialist weapon, which is where the dagger comes in. So you're never using the dagger. It's just there, so you have an extra attack with a Paragon Blade. And then you add up with digital weapons. So your guy gets like, let me give my maths actually.
Have an attack
4 base, charge, 2 weapons, digi weapons. So you can pull off 7 attacks with a Alpha Legion Praetor with a Paragon Blade with a dagger as well.
Oh, Paragon Blade. Yes.
Yeah, so you get like 7 attacks where. So that's what I mean. That's what I find is a very. That's the only time I can actually think of anyone who will questionably pick a Paragon Blade over a Defining Blade.
I still wouldn't, just purely for the whole instant death is always switched on. Always switched on. Because if you don't roll 6 to that Paragon Blade, and then you leave the dude on 1 wound, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're probably going to take 1 unsaved wound and then you're dead.
But yeah, the point is like it's possible. But yes, but then again, I have the Praetor with that, the Chaplain there with the stasis grenade launchers because it works. 10 Knights because
your only stasis grenades in this army, right?
Yeah, because none of the other guys are really going to go into combat.
Yeah, true.
So there's no point giving the rest combi grenade launchers unless I'm really bad at shooting. The 10 Shinobi Knights 3 hammers in a Spartan. I'm basically just being silly and throwing this at this point. Same with
Spartan has a flare shield and ceramite.
Yeah, the good stuff you need. Land Raider with 10 Dreadwing. Again, armor ceramite and extra armor. I had points at this point. 2 Tech Marines because I would. This Tech Marines were a point where I was running out of points. So I was like, I'll throw Tech Marines in. They can fix tanks on the go.
Because what are the
I
Tech
can deal
Marines? 45 points each.
Yeah, with because I was paying for the Frag Grenades as well.
Right. If you drop them, would land speeders not be a good option?
I would only be able to fit 1 in. That's the issue because
Well,
it's
you know, take 2 because I think mine are 50,
the land speeders I
55
have.
points with Grav and
The land
Melter.
speeders got set up with the Grav Gun and Multi Melter. It's 65 points. So
right.
so it'd be kind of like pointless by that point. I only have a land speeder.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a hassle. But yeah, 10 Dreadwing and a Land Raider. The 2 basic tac squads because I need them in the Rhinos because Iron Wing. I'm looking down here like this because I got the list. The 2 Saber tanks because it's the only time Sabers work well within an Iron Wing army. Because Iron Wing has that rule where more than half your units have to be tanks. It was such a very weird wording to it. Max and Phil actually tried to do this in their podcast, which trying to, before Sabers came around anyway.
Yeah.
Where it was a bit of a weird juggle of how you work that wording in.
What choice of Sabers fast?
They're fast attack, but they're tanks. They're fast tanks, so frankly, the tanks help you add more infantry to your list now.
And what hull weapons have you gone with? Neutron lasers?
I went the base.
Blasters.
So there's the neutron blasters and the multi melters.
Can't
So
argue.
it's a pretty strong anti-tanky list to be fair.
Because I was looking at it at first and I was like, there's not a great deal of anti-tank in there. Then I completely glossed over, my brain glossed over the fact there's a glaive in the list, right? And I was like, oh shit, there's a glaive, that's not bad. And then I was like, well, there's a Spartan as well. I was like, oh, there's Lammy. I was like, oh yeah, there's 2 neutron blaster sabers with a multi-meller. I was like, do you know what? That's actually not bad. Because on paper, it doesn't look great. When you start thinking about it, and it's like, do you know what? That's actually not bad. Because if you have if you go in first, you have a priority target you want to kill. If your sabers can get it, the Falchion can get it, the Spartan can get it, the Land Raider can get it for all different argues, you're probably going to kill something you're shooting at. Because it's all AP2 and AP1. And it's all at least strength 8. At least. That's a big
It's just the fact that it's very light on the ground for point scoring, really. That's the only issue.
If you play an objective-based game, you are in trouble. Those 2, especially because the Cenobium don't have implacable, so you've got a durable unit that can test. That's it. And then you've got a fairly squishy, expensive special unit because the Sergeant can't take Artificer armor for.
Yeah,
I was
quite surprised. Yeah, I knew I was. I knew I was never going to buy the Phosphex bond for him either because I'm like, no. Normally, if it's normal destroyers, I would have bought Phosphex. But when it's a Dreadwing unit and it has plasma burners, it's a little at this point like.
What war is it where you can take a unique Terminator unit as troops? Is it Pride of the Legion or Primarch?
No, there's no such thing. No, none of them allow you to take Legion-specific Terminators as troops. They just take standard Terminators or veterans as troops.
No. What does Primarch's Chosen do then?
It just makes your Primarch a HQ instead of a Lord of War, and your normal Terminators and veterans are.
Did they ever do Pride of the Legion? Because I'm sure it was that you could take the Legion-specific Terminators.
I'm going for my book anyway, but my book just says, that make your Primarch, he's a HQ, he's not a Lord of War, which it's still pretty good in retrospect because you could just go Primarch, 2 Terminator squads or veteran squads, and then buy another super heavy because screw it, it's you can.
I mean, like I say, the only issue I have with that list is just very low on point scoring because as soon as say your opponent gets first turn, if they target those 2 rhinos and kill the guys inside, that means you can't score for the entire game.
Yeah, and I have to resort to like seeing anyone hiding on an objective and taking them out, but it's going to be easy said and done, depending on the train layout as well. But yeah, it was a play around list in the end. The idea was I was playing with a list, you know, using the fun stuff I have. Don't worry about the lights, that's ghost lights again. But yeah, I just wanted to play around with the stuff. I'm going to probably make a new list sooner or later. I'll probably post it on our Facebook page where it'll probably include 2 20-man squads, because why the hell not? I have them now. I'd rather make use of them. 1 20-man blob work does have 2 of them. We'll see you all again next week. Everyone have a good time. And before I forget, like, subscribe, and obey. You know the rules.
Like
I'm not going to make the joke I made last week. I'm not going to make the same joke again.
Play Borderlands 3 more.
Play Half-Life 3.
Reset the clock. There's no Half-Life 3.
There's a VR that counts.
No, that doesn't count. When would that even count?
Oh, okay.
That's like saying there was a Starship Troopers 2 and 3 movie. No, there wasn't. It's a lie.
Isn't there about 8 or 9 Starship Troopers film, and they're all as bad? They're all worse than the one before it.
We don't talk about this. This is why I had mentioned it. We don't talk about it.
That's hyperbole. That's complete hyperbole. But there's a
You've been hypnotized to believe there's more than one movie. There isn't. They stopped at one and left it there. It's like what
before YouTube catches up on our talk about other Starship Troopers movies, we should go get out of here. Yep. Take care, everyone. We'll see you all again soon.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.